Changing the camera is like upgrading our brain by some efforts like reading, self-development, and fitness. But changing the lens is like seeing the world with a brand new, different eyeballs.
So there is one important thing that I learned through this lens camera review journey.
That is, sometimes the quality is not what we should crave for. We should for richness of the expression.
Nowadays, we have a lot of camera options, but the thing is, they are same.
Even if Sony A7C II becomes FX3, the actual quality won't be that better, like smartphone versus cinema camera. But when some lens, like a kit lens or a versatile lens, become like a f1.8 prime lens, you will see a whole new world. And I have been using a bunch of lenses and trying to create stuffs, and that process gave me a lot of challenge and a lot of learnings.
After all, my expression skill was developed so much because I did many ways with many lenses.
And I realized this is the pure motivation for crafting with a camera, which is knowing the power of the lens more than the camera. So today, I will show you my top 10 favorite Sony lenses. I believe this video will give you the new awareness and help your lens decision journey. Also, today's lenses are what I already reviewed before. I think you can see how much I developed my skills through this YouTube journey. Hope you enjoy. And also, I'll do the Q&A in this video too. So our first lens is Sigma 24-70mm f2.8 art lens. This one is my memorial lens. I started out the Sony camera with a kit lens, and I used that for a very long time. And this Sigma 24-70mm was my very first f2.8 legit pro zoom lens. I remember everything changed. When I used to use Sony a7 III, same camera. I didn't change the camera or even the setting, but the image was super different. Kit lens was good, but I felt some kind of slight fog just disappeared when I switched to the Sigma 24-70mm. This sharpness, crispness, and the bokeh, they were huge things that taught me the power of the lens. Sigma 24-70mm is a pro lens. Although I was not a pro at the time, I was a hybrid of an amateur and a pro. But because I went for the pro zoom lens at the time, I was able to use it and rely on it for a very long time. I did everything with this Sony a7 III and Sigma 24-70mm. Absolutely, they made my skills and expression in the early stage of this career. And still, I recommend the same thing for people who are in the beginning stage. Now 2025, not a7 III, maybe a7C2 or a 6700, those are a better option. But for the lens, this classic Sigma 24-70mm is still God.
Alright, first question. As a beginner, which Sony cameras is best for photography and videography? Well, first of all, the full frame is out of option because it's too much and I think you don't need a full frame sensor right now. So that being said, a6700 is the best choice. But if you do only hobby photography, videography, maybe Sony ZV-E10II is great for you too. So like this, I'm gonna do 9 more Q&A in this video. I need your help. I want to answer the question too in a comment below so that we can have more varieties of opinions and answers.
This encounter with Sigma 24-70mm got me into the lens journey, long lens journey. So like I said, I used to use this Sigma 24-70mm for a very long time. I did many shoots, tried many things, but I remember, I just got a little tired of images from this lens, this setup. And I remember I tried a Sigma 35mm f1.4 just for fun, just for making review videos, and bam, that was a huge impact. Another new world waited for me. Again, everything changed. First of all, I realized the power of the dedication to one focal length of a prime lens. Because of that, it can have a better optical performance than zoom lenses. Especially Sigma 35mm f1.4 art had an incredibly sharp image, which was way more than my expectation. And since it had only one focal length, I had to move my body to get the shot. Because it was limited, I had to be creative to get what I want. And this process allowed me to develop my skills and it gave me the feel of connecting with the subject. and the unknown experience f1.4. I just feel like I get the new weapon. This opened the door to the prime lens. I tried a Sigma 50mm after that, and I think I didn't make a video about it, but also I tried a 85mm 1.4 art lens. This Sigma art prime lens series was the second impact for my whole life as a creator.
Alright, so the next question is this one. The best lens for Sony a7C II, Tamron 28-75 G2 or any budget prime lenses. First of all, in this case, Tamron 28-75, but Sony cameras do a lot of crop, you know, like when it's image stabilization or 4K, 120 FPS. So I guess 28mm is not wide enough, so maybe 24 to 70mm lens or, the 16-30mm lens. In that case, I recommend Tamron 16-35 30mm f2.8 lens.
So far, I learned how things change depending on lenses. Prime lenses were huge. Especially I was attracted by the mid-telephoto world like a 50mm and 85mm. And I just had one desire, I wanted to go more. It was a big step, but I decided to buy Sony 100-400mm G Master. Probably I would say this is the most, my favorite Sony lens if I get asked like that. This lens simply allowed me to extend my sight and it gave me the power to see things that I can't usually. I feel like this world was mine and I could reach to anywhere I wanted to. I just got more ways to create and it was so much fun. Also, that one was GM, so image quality was one of a kind. I just fell in love with it. So definitely I gotta put this in my list. But I sold it because I didn't use it that a lot. I mean, not as many as like Sigma 24-70mm because the use of 100-400mm is, limited. It was not for, everyday shoot. At that time, I needed to focus on one thing, which was to develop my skill. To do that, there was a shortcut, which was prioritize the quantity more than the quality. Even though I loved that lens so much, I sold it because I thought like, does this lens lead me to the place I want to go? I want to hit, I want to achieve. I love the landscape stuff, but just not now. So I decided to sold it and use that money for the next stage, such as trying many lenses, cameras, and camera accessories or the computer stuff. So that was a good breakup. But seriously, I guess you will have a same experience. Like you love that camera gear, but that doesn't lead you to the next stage. But I think it's a good idea to try that even when that's because you can realize your honest desire, goal that you want to achieve. Do and fail more than don't and regret. That's what I learned from this Sony 100-400mm G Master.
So the next question is the best lens for Sony a6700. Well, this is a difficult question, but I recommend 16-55 f2.8 G lens. That is absolute go-to lens. Get it.
Time flight. I bought Sony FX30. For that, I went for Sony 16-55mm f2.8 G. I tried many APS-C lenses, Sigma, Tamron, and others, but eventually this 16-55 G lens is the one. It is pretty much like a full-frame 24-70mm, but it's not too expensive and big like that. In other words, you can experience the Sony's semi-flagship quality by the lower price and smaller size, thanks to this APS-C system. Actually, this lens gave me the new awareness, which goes like APS-C is not like a cheaper version of the full frame, and APS-C is not a beginner camera. There is a legit reason to go for that. You can have a pretty much same quality with the full frame by smaller size and lower price, which is a super beneficial, great for some situations. At the time, I used to shoot in the mountain a lot for both personal and commercial use. So I needed to be lightweight as much as possible, but also I had to have the strong video power. FX30 and APS-C lenses were the perfect solution for me. This 16-55mm was the best go-to versatile lens choice for me. And still, I would recommend it if you want to build the APS-C system right now.
Why I became the videographer. So there's no why. I mean, it's just meant to be. Like this video is my tool to express myself. So yeah, I chose the video and I'm not a 9 to 5 job kind of guy. So yeah, freelance videographer. That's my life.
Next one is Tamron 2040mm f2.8. This one also gave me the huge awareness. So by this era, I tried many Sony cameras, started from A7 III, went to FX30 and A6000 series camera and A7 IV. And the camera technology was developing, such as 4K 120 FPS, smart autofocus, image stabilization. But Sony does a crap a lot. Those cameras had a high-res and amazing sensor like A7 IV's over 30 megapixel. I realized I should prioritize the wide angle more than telephoto because I can crop or use the APS-C crop mode to get the extra reach, but you can't get the wider image than the widest angle of that lens. I started to feel 24mm was not wide enough. When this Tamron 2040mm was released, it was perfect time. If you get to 1.5 times crop, you still have a 30mm, and if you use a APS-C crop mode, you can get a 60mm. So actually, you can get from 20mm to 60mm. I believe I said the same thing in that video too, but the idea for the standard zoom lens is changing. It doesn't always have to be 24 to 70mm. It used to be, but the camera's technology and requirements such as a crop or high-res sensor, those stuffs are changing too. I think wide angle, especially for Sony cameras, is very important nowadays. I like the image quality of this Tamron 2040mm, and more than that, this lens gave me that new awareness. So, it's in today's list. How can I get images that people don't shoot? Subject, places, cameras, colors. Yeah, could be. I thought the lens that people don't usually use. I tried a film camera's lens, which was a Super Takumar 50mm 1.4. I made a video about it before. It was fantastic, but I wouldn't recommend you because it's a old film camera's lens. You only can find it at the second-hand market, and quality is not guaranteed. So instead of it, I like and recommend Voightlander 35mm f1.8 lens. This is not a film camera's lens. It is for digital camera like A7 IV, but it's film camera's lens. Doesn't make sense. Voightlander is a film camera lens manufacturer with a long history, and they made a lens for digital camera by their film camera spirit. So images from this lens are very film camera-ish, but the camera is, for example, A7 III or 4. It got super high resolution with a great color science like S-Log, but they can be wrapped by the nostalgic real film look. This is a film look that you can't express with modern lenses like Sony's G Master or those lenses. And this was pretty much the first time to try the non-Sigma Tamron Sony lens, and I got really good impression, which made me think like, okay, Sigma Tamron Sony are not everything.
All right, next question. What do you think Sony 1625 f2.8 versus Sony 1630mm f4? Which one you would prefer for hybrid? 1625, I think I reviewed in this video. Best travel lenses, something like that. 1625, that was really good because it was super compact, light, but it can carry f2.8 from 16 to 25. So I think 1630mm f4 lens is still expensive. So when it comes to the long-term use, I recommend 1625 2.8 G. Lens, time to work out.
And that led me to the one brand, Viltrox. I showed you a lot of Viltrox lenses on my channel. Yes, I admit they were, sponsored video, but I did them because I really loved them and I really wanted to recommend them to you guys. And Viltrox 50mm f2 lens, this was mind-blowing. A couple of $100 shouldn't produce this quality lens. I thought this could be the new budget prime lens choice for people who started out.
quality, 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 image quality. You know, the build quality, quality, image quality.
Viltrox 40mm f4 lens, this is also my favorite one. You got the zoom lens and the 50mm prime. Now you want to go for wide angle lens. What about this one? I reviewed it recently and I loved it. Super sharp, vivid color and ultra wide 40mm produced an amazingly dynamic image. And it cost less than $300. And it got the great autofocus, image stabilization compatibility with Sony's cameras. Viltrox is my favorite brand. And especially I love those two lenses, 50mm f2 and 40mm f4. I seriously want you to try those lenses if you're looking for the budget fast aperture prime lenses.
The next question, the natural and studio lighting setup. Okay, actually there's a lot, but today I'm gonna show you the super one simple, extreme, the basic stuff. So there is the window right here. Obviously the natural light is coming in, but don't stand in front of the window straight. Stand and get the light like a 45 degree. And now my face is getting the shadow right here and the light right here, and which creates that depth here. And right now I just finished to shoot one YouTube video. Same thing right there. There's a camera, right? Camera and me sitting right here. 45 degree light and also 45 degree up. You know what I mean? Like this.
Okay, next, Tamron 16-30mm f2.8 G2. I think this is the best legit wide-angle zoom lens choice right now. I mean, not as the wide angle, this has the potential to be a go-to versatile standard zoom lens. For more detail, watch this video. Since it starts from 16mm, you can use it for APS-C cameras, and when it's on full frame, you can have 16 to 45mm by APS-C crop mode. Even if you use on an active IS, you still get a 24mm and f2.8. The image quality is awesome. It's a lightweight, not super expensive. This could be the new generation standard zoom lens.
The next question, A6700 or ZVE10. A6700. If you think about the long-term use, A6700 is the best value camera in 2025 in Sony.
And the best lens of the year 2025, Tamron 25 to 200mm G2. A super versatility with an amazing image quality and attractive features like a half macro depiction and f2.8 at 25mm. And this lightweight and small size, the winner. I won't go deeper because I reviewed it recently. Our memories are new. But yeah, absolutely my new favorite and the best lens of the year, Tamron 25 to 100mm.
S9 or XT5. Which one is good? Help me. XT5 is actually a really great camera. I love that. But like if you prioritize the video performance, I think S9 is better because you can have more ways to shoot, like video codec options. But if you want to have amazing photography performance, S9 doesn't have a viewfinder and it's in a shutter sound. I don't like it. Maybe for that use, XT5 is great.
Okay, this is it. My mouth is dried out, like talking. But I hope this one helps you. Yeah, I bet. There's a lot of things that I want to tell you in this video, but let me focus on one thing. That is, expensive lenses are not the solution or the answer. What you want to do is to gain many ways to express more than to gain the quality. If you pursue that path, everything gets expensive anyway. But at the beginning, ignore the price tag, what people say in general. Good things are good, But sometimes the truth is buried because of the common sense the majority makes, such as price and impression. Like people might say, $200 lens must be garbage, and APS-C is a toy camera, toy lenses, and they are just a cheaper alternative option for people who don't have money enough. We easily get lost because of voices from outside. But let's focus on yourself, the internal voice. Like, what do I want? You know, I wanna try the prime lens, but just wanna try, so it doesn't have to be fancy. So maybe the Viltrox or some those lenses are, you know, maybe a good option for me. I wanna have a light, small setup. APS-C is good, but people say APS-C is not good. Cut it off. APS-C for me. Don't focus on what to use that much. Instead, focus on how to use. You know, gears are just a tool to help you to express what you want. Don't be a gear addict. Be a skill addict. Expand your expression. Okay, this is it. If you have any question, just shoot me anytime, anywhere. And if you like this video, show me a thumb and hit the subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. The initial impression review of this Nikon ZR. Finally, it's good. The monitor is goddamn huge, so the motivation is on fire. Image is good, but the thing is, why did it have to be this small? At least I want to have like this thickness, like FX30, or at least just normal mirrorless camera like A7 IV. That's only thing I don't like about this camera right now. But yeah, I don't know. I just got this today, so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna deep dive in this ZR. Ciao.